What is up guys, and welcome to another exciting tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how I create my thumbnails. Guys, you've been asking for this tutorial a lot, so let's do it in deep today. First of all, I'm using Photoshop for that, so if you have Photoshop, let's jump right in. If not, go to the Creative Cloud app and you can download Photoshop from there. Make sure you have the latest version because we are going to use generative fill. This feature is just amazing and makes creating the thumbnail and the customizing it way easier. So let's jump right in Photoshop, and yes, we are going to create thumbnails like this one, for example. So I have actually my my thumbnail preview here. This is like my preset. I'm always jumping in here and customizing and reworking the thumbnail from here. So if I have a new video, I just change the background, I just change the copy here, and everything is going to be exactly at the same position like all my other thumbnails. So let's create you a nice preset project file for Photoshop so you can create similar looking thumbnails in just a couple of minutes. Guys, it's really not complicated. So basically, I have one sub headline always on the top, which usually is editing tutorial, since I do a lot of tutorials right now. But sometimes it also can be like before, after, or timeline, or montage when I do some montage edits. And I'm thinking also for each video of a nice headline, nice text here, which represents what I'm showing in the video. I'm also adding this rectangle here. This is just a rectangle shape, always at the same position. I never change the size or position of the rectangle shape. And I also have some icons. I love to play with different icons. If I use After Effects, let's drop an After Effects icon in there. If I cooperate with different brands, I'm bringing the logos in here below the line here. Yes, and for the background, the picture here, I'm usually using generated pictures from Discord Midjourney. I love to prompt here in Midjourney. I mean, there are a couple of other great text to picture generator out there. But yeah, I'm getting pretty used to work with Midjourney. So if you haven't heard about Midjourney, you can just put in a text prompt. For example, here, this is my prompt for that picture. Futuristic SD neon card floating between particles, cinematic warm lighting, and the version 4 in the aspect ratio of 9:16. So let's start from a fresh Photoshop file. But first of all, I'm going to export this one, quick export as a PNG. Call this one V1 and create a folder for that. Thumbnail, reels, thumbnails. Yes. And we're gonna export the PNG here. So I'm exporting the PNG because I'm going to give you the PNG for free. You can just download the file below this video, and I show you exactly why in a second. So we are closing everything. So Photoshop looks exactly like it does for you guys. So let's create a new file, and we want the aspect ratio of 1080 by 1920, since this is the aspect ratio which works for the reels, and we call it thumbnail version 1. Boom, that's it. So we have here our background, everything clean and nice. Now you can actually bring in the picture, the PNG I just exported, because this is gonna make things a lot easier. So just drag and drop your the thumbnail you downloaded for me on the school page in here. yeah, so just drag and drop in the thumbnail into your new created Photoshop file. And now you can pretty much just, yeah, copy everything I have on here. First of all, we're going to create a shape. Here, use the rectangle tool, the stroke, we don't need any stroke, and the fill set to white. Yes. And now you can pretty much just redraw that line I have created. Boom. Yes, that's it. Move a little bit to the left. Let's move it here. Yes, that's looking good. So if we turn off the layer, it's gonna save this one as a PSD. You see, okay, nice. First of all, we have created that nice line. Cool. You can also use the lines here to make sure everything is correct and has the same size. You see here, I did not nail it to 100%, but it's totally fine. We are going to fix this in a second. And here we got the lineal at the line 2. So you can just pretty much clip it to the rectangle you have created. Boom. So you can make sure everything is 100% accurate. All right, nice. So next up, let's create some text. So I'm using here the text tool, and let's go for the font. Maybe you have Montserrat. You can choose whatever font you want, but I would recommend using the thin characters of that font you're choosing. So let's choose this one, and let's say we want to create a before and after timeline video. So we call this one timeline edit. Boom. And we can increase the size to match. Yes, sorry, I deleted this one. All right. So we call this one timeline edit. Okay. And now we're going to place that exactly at that line we have created here. Yes, same size. We can make it maybe 54, 53. Yes, and now we can turn off the layer. Yes, I think that's looking good. So for the background, let's turn it on again, and let's, in terms of the video, make the background light gray so you can see what we are doing. Yes, timeline edit, which matches exactly to the position and to the size of of the example I gave you. I might give you another example because it's not cool that this is not 100% correct, but in terms for the video, it's fine. But I'm gonna give you something more precise. And now the next thing is we want to create the big font. So let's say we want to create a video. Well, let's say we have created a real a timeline edit of the before and after of the dragon tattoo effect. So let's say our main text is white, and we say dragon tattoo effect. Yes. And here we want to choose a really big font, like a bold one. Here, this one might work. Let's increase the scale. One thing you could do is if you copy everything and we start fresh again, you can actually mark the area you want the text to be. So let's say this is the area, so it's always going to stay in that box. So we have no trouble. We can freely resize the font like that. Boom. This is a pretty good font for that, but I usually use a font called Drag, And drag is pretty good for headlines, you see, because the characters are pretty close together. So let's increase the size here again and make sure, let us go down a bit. So yes, boom, that would be the text. Nice. Let's turn on the reference. And yes, this is matching pretty good. Nice. We have the two text layers. Okay, let's bring in some icons. Let's say you've created a video with Adobe After Effects PNG. So let's download a PNG here. Go to a page. You can just Google it. You're gonna find something in here. We are downloading a big size PNG. After Effects icon PNG. Yes, we want it in the Reels thumbnail folder. And now, boom, it's downloaded. We can just drag in that icon here, scale it down. And in this terms now, I'm probably going to turn on the reference. So I'm matching the size. Well, it's matched pretty well, but we can, I think, decrease the size a little bit, something like that. Yes. Yes, that's looking good. So, boom, that's our reference. That's what we have created in a couple of minutes. I was not even like 10 minutes or so, which is pretty good. And now to the interesting part. Now we're creating a cool background. So let's turn off the reference. We have everything we need from the reference. And let's jump into your picture generator of choice. I'm gonna pick the Midjourney bot here. So I've already created some dragons. So I have some prompts that probably work pretty well. I'm going to choose this prompt. So I type in /imagine and type in my prompt. In this case, I want a traditional Chinese dragon because this is a traditional Chinese dragon. And most of the time it's just, I don't know, generating some weird Western dragons. But I want a traditional Chinese dragon flying fast through epic firestorm, representing all extreme elements, air, motion, blur, cinematic, warm lighting. So I always try to make the pictures I'm generating really extreme, explosive, powerful. Because at the beginning of my journey of prompting in Midjourney, my pictures were quite lame because I didn't know really how to prompt. I was just typing in, I don't know, a laptop on a desk with good lighting, and that's all. But with time, you can see here some prompts. With time, you can get really cool results. But you just have to get kind of used to this prompting. You can also go into the internet on Google. You can search for some prompt inspiration. There are some pages where they show you the final picture, and you can just open up the prompt and you can try the prompt out yourself. This can be really helpful to get inspiration. Yeah, but in general, I made the experience creating or generating things like cameras and stuff like. It's pretty hard to nail for the program, for the AI. But yeah, if you go a little bit more general, especially for cars, man, for cars, I love it. I tell you my secret now for cars. Here, like these pictures, boy, super nice, man. So I'm just putting sports version, Bentley car, the car I have. Extreme fast motion blur, drifts. This, if you put this into your prompt, always super nice. And epic cinematic warm lighting. That's what I'm prompting as well. I always have these at the end. You can also add limited color palette, so you don't have too many colors in your frame. Yes, and I'm using the version 4, and then you can just copy that ending, like copy that and put it just at the end of your prompt. Believe me. And yeah, the AR stands for aspect ratio. So I'm getting 9:16 videos, and these videos I can just upscale. So this is pretty much a preview with 4 different pictures I can choose from, and I can create a variation of them. Pressing here on V4, like variation of picture 4 or upscale picture 4. Yes, that's pretty much it. So let's put in that prompt. That Chinese dragon, the traditional flying dragon with fast motion blur, epic firestorm. I don't know, I just want these pictures, my grid to look really epic and nice. All right, and in the meantime, we can double check our typo here, and maybe thin is a little bit too thin. So let's go for medium. Medium is also pretty good, but I would recommend sticking to the same font. So I'm going to use a drag trail for the top as well, and medium, so it's not going to look too weird, because yeah, you have to you better use the same fonts so it looks better at the end, so everything looks more baked together. And yeah, if you use exactly that positions for the text and everything, since the grid is 1 by 1, that will show really nice. The text, the icon, everything is safe, and here on top and the bottom is the dead zone, is cleaned, cut out. And yes, you make sure with copying that position that when viewing your picture on the grid, your thumbnail, it's going to show all the details and it's not getting cut out at any point. Yes, so Discord is pretty lame today. All right, we got the first 4 versions, and these are looking pretty epic, I think. But this is not a traditional Chinese dragon, man. This is, I don't know, something else. So in terms of the video, I'm probably just going to choose one up here. All right, I think this dragon looks pretty cool. I don't want to bore you with too much prompting. So let's choose this dragon. I just clicked on upscale, so I'm getting a bigger picture, upscaled version of that frame I choose. And here it is, our upscaled dragon. Looking good. I think that's pretty good for the background. And now I'm opening it in the browser for the best result, for the best resolution actually. And I save the image as dragon v1 into the right folder. Now jump back into Photoshop, and now we can just drag in that dragon. Make sure the dragon is all the way at the bottom. And now with Command T, we can bring up the settings and increase the scale of the dragon. Yes. Okay, pretty cool. So we still have that layer here. We can just drag it on top of our dragon and actually choose the color black for the fill, and use the paint bucket here. Just click on the layer and paint it black. And now we can lower the opacity, and voila, now you can see the text. Yeah, definitely better. And to bring the thumbnails to life, I create a copy of the dragon and go all the way to the top. And now I'm using the eraser tool, but you can of course also use different other methods to cut out different parts. And now I am, kind of brushing around. So yeah, it looks more like the dragon is integrated into that the dragon is like more into that frame, you know. Let's try here. Sometimes it's good to increase the hardness a little bit so you can make it pretty clean. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. cut it out here. Yes. And decrease the hardness a little bit. You just have to play around with what looks good for your frame. I think that's pretty dope. So we have the text a little bit integrated into the frame, and the line looks like it's actually going behind the dragon here. And of course, you can fine tune and do different stuff. And now I also want to delete everything here, like use the rubber here, so the focus is more into the middle. Yes. Yes, nice. And if certain parts of the picture you don't like, example, it's here the hand, if you don't like how it looks, you can just make a selection, for example, for the fingers here, boom, and use generative fill in Photoshop to change your prompted picture, which can be super helpful. Also, sometimes I want to frame the dragon or the picture I've generated in a way where I get some borders, or I can see the background. So yeah, to fill the edges, to fill the lines, see the hand just disappeared and we have a clean picture. So what I was talking about right now is when I want to position the dragon, maybe like position it here. You know, I still have here empty parts in the frame. So you can just select the empty parts and generate that layer and fill it, which is pretty awesome, not gonna lie. So that's the workflow in Photoshop and with Midjourney. And when I'm happy, let's say this is the thumbnail I want to upload. So I'm going up here and export that picture as a PNG. We call it a Dragon V1 9. That's the 9x16 Dragon version 1. Yes, please. And to spice things up even more, go into the browser and search for AI Upscale PNG. Nice. And now you have a couple of options which you can choose from to upscale your pictures. I love images is a pretty good one. I love to use that one. And now you just have to upload your dragon or your thumbnail like that. It's going to upload, and then you can choose the size multiplier, either ×2, ×4, depends what you're looking for. I just found out it's making a huge difference because it's just bringing in some more details and like making things just look perfect. And that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for the perfect quality. So you can either use 2 or 4 times, but I'm sticking to 2. Now you can see the difference here. I mean, look at that blurry dragon here, and now it's getting crispy sharp, and also the text is going to be a lot more high res. And also you can see here the bottom, like these particles, they were really blurry, and so they get like really sharp. So let's upscale it, and then you pretty much just need to download the upscale picture. Yes, here, and it starts to download. It's free and it's pretty nice. And sometimes you also need a 16:9 aspect ratio of that tattoo, and sometimes you're going to need a 60:9 version of that thumbnail. So no problem, we're going to do Shift Command S, and we're going to save this as 16:9 thumbnail. And now we can do some changes and make a cool 16:9 thumbnail out of that 9x16 thumbnail. You just have to choose the crop tool here and make sure that it's set to ratio 16:9. And now you can just expand it. And yeah, make sure your subject is clear in the middle, looks good. And now you can pretty much just press enter, and generative fill will fill the edges, and you have created a 16:9 version of your thumbnail. within seconds. I love that feature. Really make sure you have the latest version. So yeah, Generate to Fill is working well. And yeah, that's pretty much how I create my thumbnails. No secret anymore. Now you can choose here from different options. Yes, I think this one looks cool. And now you just have to export this picture again, and you have a 16:9 version of your 9:16 thumbnail. And of course, you can upload it to the upscaler again and make sure the 16:9 version is also high quality. And then there you have it. You have both thumbnails, 16:9, 9:16. You can just open up these Photoshop files next time you want to create a thumbnail. And the only thing you do is you just changing the copy. So 1 second here. So next time, let's say you want to create another reel. So you go back into your folder, you open up the 9:16 version, and now you just have to delete the dragons, or in this case the dragons. You probably don't have dragons, but the generated pictures you just need to delete. You can change the text, the subheadline, the headline, and if needed you can change the icons, and make sure everything stays at this position and your feed is going to look clean. And I think for us creators it's important to have a clean feed. Of course you don't have to, but I think it's just representing your high quality. Your feed is representing your art. So it's your art gallery, and you want your art gallery to look good in the first second someone hits your profile. You want to impress them. So this is an easy way to make your feed look just clean. And I think you can go back on posts you've already created and change the thumbnails there. So if this is something you want to do, you can create a lot of thumbnails for posts you have created in the past, update them, and your feed is going to look great. And make sure you put in that extra couple of minutes for future reels or posts you're creating, so your feed, your grid looks really impressive in the first few seconds someone comes onto your profile. So that's it for this tutorial, and I hope you've learned something new, and I see you in the next one.